Very good morning and welcome to this Thursday session of Yoga Online. We continue with standing poses this morning. Roll your shoulders back. Extend the trunk away from the hips. Lift the navel, lift the sternum. Broaden across the chest. Keeping the eyes closed, lift the crown of the head. Draw the elbows towards each other. Keep the chest open. Focus on your breath for a few moments. Join your palms together. We'll begin by chanting Om 3 times. Take a slow, deep breath in. Slowly release your hands. Open your arms. Take the arms across to the side. Turn the palms to face up. Lift the chest. Lift the rib cage. Take the navel back. Breathe in and raise up the arms. A full extension of the side of the trunk. Maintain the lift and the extension of the trunk away from the hips. You're almost separating the trunk and the hips as you lift. Use your breath, breathe in to lift the trunk. Breathe out, take the navel back. Breathe in, lift the trunk. Breathe out, take the navel back. Release both hands, the sides of the hips. Raise up the left arm. Keep the right fingertips placed on the floor. Walk your hands across. Stretch across the left side. Pin the left buttock down. Bend the right elbow and stretch over to the right. Keeping the left buttock pinned to the floor. Breathe in to come up. Let's change sides. Raise up the right arm. Extend your left hand across. Release your palms onto the floor. And bend the left elbow to stretch. Pin the right foot down as you do this. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out and release. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Breathing in, raise up the head. As you breathe out, release the chin to the chest. Feel the length of the cervical spine. Feel the length of the side of the trunk. Breathing in. Raise up the head. And as you breathe out, draw the chin to the chest. Continue this action for a few rounds. And feel the upper back muscles rolling down the back. Gaze forward. Wrap your palms and fingers around your knee. Roll the shoulders back. Breathing in, lift the shoulders. Breathing out, release the elbows down to draw the shoulders down. And draw the trapezius muscles down there. Breathing in, lift. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, release. Breathing in, lift. Now circular action. Breathing in, lift. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, draw them forward. Lift your ears. Breathe out and release. Continue this action for a few rounds. Change the direction of your rotation. The palms and fingers around the knee quite strongly. Stretch the arms, extend the arms to lift the chest. As you bend the elbows, draw the chest forward, draw the navel forward, and look up. As you straighten the arms, take the chest back, take the navel back, take the sternum back. Now let this movement become more fluid. Use your breath, breathing in as you move forward, breathing out as you move back. You want to create the flexibility of the trunk, but the firmness of the hips at the same time. Breathing in, move forward, lift the chest. Breathe out, take the navel back, take the sternum back, round the back, drop your chin. Breathing in, come forward. Interlace your fingers in front of you, rotate at the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathing in, raise up the arm. Now stretch the armpit, lift the chest, lift the navel away from the floor, stretch the arms, feel the length of the arms. Hands into your hips. Press your thighs down and lift the chest. Lift the navel, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows towards each other. Your palms are placed on your thighs. Press your thighs down, lift the trunk. The extension of the trunk away from the hips. Slowly. Stretch out your legs to Upavista Konasana. Lift the trunk, lift the navel, lift the chest, and look up. Release your gaze forward. Fold your legs in for Pada Konasana. Turn the soles of your feet. Now lift the navel, lift the chest, lift the crown of the head. Straighten the arms and keep the lift. Keep lifting the navel, lifting the sternum. You're extending the trunk away from the hips. At the same time, the knees move down and the thighs move down, creating that ejection of the trunk. And release. Straighten your legs out for Dandasana. The legs are straight, heels away from you, toes towards you. Change the interlock of your fingers. Rotate at the wrist, turn the palms away from you. Breathe in and raise up the arms. A full extension of the sides of the trunk. So you're creating this L shape with your body. The legs are horizontal and the trunk is vertical. Lift the navel, lift the sternum, stretch the armpits. At the same time, your thighs move away. Your thighs move towards the floor, away from the trunk. There's a dual action. Thighs move down and the trunk moves. Breathe out, release your hands, and come to stand. Come to stand with your feet hip-width apart. Place your hands on your hips. Roll the shoulders back. And now lift the hips away from the thighs. Push the thighs back to lock the legs. Lift the navel, lift the sternum, lift the shoulder blades. Stand tall. You're lifting the trunk out of the hips. That's the action. Breathing in, raise up the arms. A full extension of the trunk. As you breathe out, bend the knees, descend the hips. As you descend the hips, lift the trunk. Feel the extension of the trunk more as you release the hips down. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out and release. Roll the shoulders back. Now raise up the arms, keep them in line with the chest. Breathing out, release the knees. And lift the chest. Lift the chest without using the strength of the arms. Lift the navel, lift the sternum, descend the hips. Breathe in to come up. Breathe out and release your hands onto your hips. Roll the shoulders back. Step your legs apart. Press your feet down. Press your feet down firmly. Push your thighs back to lock the legs. So the legs and the hips are fixed. With this action, roll the shoulders back. Draw the elbows towards each other and look up. Press your feet down to anchor the legs. Push your thighs back to lock the legs and lock the hips and look up. Lift the navel away from the hips. Lift the sternum away. With this action, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Fold forward. And with this action, lengthen the navel away, push your thighs back. The navel moves forward, the sternum moves forward, the thighs move back, open the backs of the legs. Breathe into the mouth. One more time, roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows towards each other. Breathing in, lift the navel away. As you breathe out, move the navel first, then the sternum, then the chest. We're not going down, rather we're going forward. Push the thighs back and lengthen the navel away from the hip, lengthen the sternum away from the navel, lengthen the crown of the head. Breathe in to come up. So you're creating this 90-degree once again. The legs are vertical and the trunk is horizontal. Roll the shoulders back, lift the navel. As you breathe out, release the navel, release the sternum. Extend the crown of the head forward. Push your thighs back away from you. Open the backs of the legs, but stretch the trunk forward. Now release your fingertips onto the floor. Widen your legs. If you need to place your fingertips on blocks, it's fine. Now with this action, take your thighs back and eject the trunk forward and look forward. The thighs move back, the knees move back, the feet press down, lengthen the navel forward, lengthen the sternum forward. Similar to the Upabhista Konasana action, the thighs moving towards the floor and the trunk ejecting. Can you push your thighs back and eject the trunk forward? Passive. Look forward. Toe heel, your feet together so that your feet are hip width apart. Breathing in, raise up the arms. Bend at the elbow. Now stretch from your hip to the elbow, stretching the armpit. Feel the armpit move. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. Bend the knees, release the trunk onto the knees and the thighs. Stretch the trunk down and walk to straighten the legs. Thighs move back, but the trunk lengthens down, the elbows lengthen down, the crown of the head lengthens down. Soften the abdomen and stretch the sides of the trunk. Breathe in to come up. Step your legs wide apart. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest, lift the navel. Stretch the armpit. Now keep the armpit extended. Breathing in, arch back. And as you breathe out, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Draw the elbows strongly down, soften the abdomen. Push your thighs back, open the backs of the knees. Stretch your elbows down, stretch the crown of the head down. Release the navel towards the thighs and lengthen. At the same time, push your thighs back, open the backs of the knees. Breathe in to come up. Release your hands. Back. Toe heel, toe heel. Toe heel, your feet hip width apart. Breathing in, raise up the arms. Same action once again. Release the hips, release the knees, and stretch the trunk. Sit lower. Breathe out and lift the trunk. Breathe in to come up. And bind your hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the navel, lift the sternum. Action, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Thighs move back, the navel moves forward. Keep pushing the thighs back. So we're lengthening the trunk in the standing poses. Feel the spine lengthen away from the thighs. Push the thighs back, lock the legs. Breathe in to come up. Release your hands and change the bind of your hands. Roll the shoulders back to open the chest. Focus on the length of the spine. Step your legs out once again for the widespread action, the prasarita action. Lift the chest, lift the navel, and as you breathe out, hinge at the hips and fold forward. So we're not going down. We're still creating this L shape, this vertical and horizontal extension. Push your thighs back and lengthen forward. Lengthen the navel forward, lengthen the sternum forward and the crown of the head. Breathe in to come up. Release your hands, roll the shoulders back. Maintain the length of the sides of the trunk. Maintain the length of the spine. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. Keeping the chest open, turn your right leg out and your left leg in. Turn the trunk to face forward. Now maintain the length of the side of the trunk. Raise up the right arm. As you breathe out, extend into Utthita Trikonasana. Now push your thighs back. Push the thigh back, push the thigh down. Now the work here is to almost eject the spine, lengthen the navel away from the hips, lengthen the sternum away from the navel. So your trunk is moving horizontally. Your legs are fixed, push your thighs back and lengthen the spine. Take your left arm up, keep lengthening the spine horizontally, fixing your legs. And bend the right elbow, get more of a stretch, release your hand further down. And lengthen the spine horizontally. Revolve the navel and sternum to face forward. Breathe in to come up. Roll the shoulders back and chain sides. Take your left leg out, turn your right leg in. So we're still lengthening the trunk in the standing poses. Roll the shoulders back. Breathing in, raise up the left arm, a full extension of the left side. And as you breathe out, extend. Extend the spine, feel the trunk, feel the crown of the head. Extend as you bend over to the left side. Move the navel and sternum to face forward. Bend the front elbow to get the spine more horizontal and lengthen the trunk. Feel the length of the spine horizontally across. Horizontally across. And now take up the right arm and feel that stretch of the spine horizontally. Legs fixed, keep the legs straight. Breathe in to come up. Turn your feet in. Toe heel. Walk your feet together. Extend the arms out to the side. Take the arms slightly behind your hip. Lift the navel, lift the sternum. Broaden across the chest. Stand tall. Press your feet down, push your thighs back and lift the chest. Open the chest. And come onto your knees. Take your knees wide as the mat. Big toes touching. Once again, the thighs anchor down and press your palms and fingers on your thighs and lift the navel, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders back and look up. Feel the lift of the trunk out of the hips. With the same action, this concave action, move that lower shoulder blade into the body and up. From here, walk your hands forward. Walk your hands forward. Press on your fingertips and your palms and move that lower shoulder blade into the body. Move the thighs back, move the groins back and look up. Maintaining this concave action, spread the palms, spread the fingers, stretch forward. Now the action here is that the navel moves forward, the sternum moves forward. At the same time, push the thighs back, push the groins back and stretch forward. You're still ejecting the trunk out of the hips. Then drop the navel, drop the sternum, drop the forehead, drop your elbows. Lumbar spine as you keep moving the groins back. From here, come onto your knees. Draw your knees under your hips. Place your palms below your shoulders. Walk your palms one hand forward. It's the same principle here for the downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, where the trunk ejects out of the hips. The same principle. Tuck the toes under. Lift your knees, lift your hips. So the groins move back, the buttock moves back, but the trunk extends forward and down. There's an extension of the trunk as you lift the hips, lift the groins, and push the thighs back. So you're pushing the thighs back away from the trunk. Extend the armpit, so you're stretching back. Keep moving the hips to stretch the armpit. Move the hips to lengthen the navel. Use the hips to lengthen the sternum away. So the navel moves up, the sternum moves up, the armpit moves up, and then release down with the concave back and work to straighten your legs. Work to straighten your legs. There's still this extension. There's a 90 degree between the trunk and the legs. Keep moving your thighs back and extending the trunk. And slowly release onto your knees. Press your fingertips in front of the knees. Lift the trunk and look up. The gaze forward. Draw your knees together. Roll the shoulders back. And lift the trunk out of the hips. The thighs move down. The hips are fixed, but lift the trunk. Lift the trunk out of the hips. But there's a length created in the trunk. There's a firmness in the thighs. The thighs move away from the trunk as you lift. Roll the shoulders back and look up. Release your gaze forward. And come to lie flat on your back. To lie flat on your back, release the navel to the floor. Even with this action, feel the length of the trunk. Soften the abdomen, release the sternum. Both hands draw both your knees in towards the chest. Pavanmuktasana. Wriggle your hips away from the shoulders. Wriggle your shoulders away from the hips. Create that length in the trunk. Draw the chin towards the chest. Feel the length of the cervical spine. Feel the length of the lumbar spine. Keep your legs there. Now, as you breathe out, soften the abdomen. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Creating space in the abdomen as you breathe out. Adjust your hands and your shin to where it is comfortable for the back. Now focusing on just the exhalation, releasing the full length of the trunk to the action. Hold behind your thighs and straighten your legs. You're creating this 90 degree once again between your trunk and your thighs. Move the thighs away from you, heels away from you, toes towards you, and bend the knees once again. Draw your knees in towards the chest. Soften the abdomen, maintaining the length of the trunk. Release both your feet onto the mat. Keep your knees up. And feel the lumbar spine settle. Release the shoulder blades back off the head and focus on just the exhalation. Place both your hands on the abdomen. Feel the softness of the abdomen. Raise up the right arm all the way past the right ear. Roll over onto your right hand side. And press to come to sit. In a comfortable posture, place your palms onto your thighs, press them down, lift the navel, lift the sternum, feel the length of the trunk, roll the shoulders back, feel the upper back muscles roll down the back, lift the crown of the head. So feel that length and the extension of the trunk. Your thighs are still at 90 degrees to the trunk, but there's this length, there's this opening and this extension. Feel the length across the chest and feel the length from top to bottom. Roll the shoulders back. Take the arms out to the side, stretch the wrists away from each other, open the chest. Lift the armpits away from the hips. Bend the elbows, join the palms together. Maintain the extension of the trunk at the same time. The thighs move down, giving you strength. Lift the trunk, lift the navel, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders back. Keep your eyes closed. Focus on the gentle inhalation and the gentle exhalation. At the same time, maintaining the length and the extension of the trunk in terms of length and width. Go deep breath in, and as you breathe out, release the chin to the chest. And as you breathe in, slowly raise up your head, release your hands, and open. Have a wonderful day, and we will meet tomorrow. Thank you for joining our session.